So I just passed my $200,000 FTMO challenge in just 2 trades. And in this video today, I'm going to show you how I passed my FTMO challenge, what were the trades that I did, my very important risk management system that you can replicate in your trading, and you can also pass FTMO challenge the way I just passed. And I'm going to also give you some very important tips that are gonna help you increase your probability to pass the FTMO challenge in 2024. But just before we do that, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. With that being said, let's deep dive into today's video. So I basically took 2 trades. The very first trade that I did on my $200,000 FTMO challenge, it was on Euro CAD on the 15-minute time frame for the sell side, which I took from this price level, and I made 2 rewards from that trade. Now on this trade, I risked 1% of my account balance, which was $2,000, and I ended up making $4,100 from this trade. Now I'm going to give you the reasons why I took this trade, then we will have a look at my second trade, then we will talk about the risk management system which made me pass this challenge in just 2 profitable trades. Okay, so the overall trend on EuroCAD was going for the downside. Market was definitely making a move, and when it came to this price level, just before it broke it to the downside, we ended up making this supply zone. And that supply zone, it was never tested until we got this rejection. So when it made a lower low and it started to make a pullback, then I started to wait until market comes to this level, which is right here, and I was waiting for a rejection. And at the same time, I was expecting the market to come in this pattern. I knew that the seller's movement happened like that. So when I'm expecting a pullback, I want pullback to come basically like this pattern, that it needs to come up, then sellers needs to come down, then buyers need to try again, then sellers have to take control. And during that pullback, I need a miniature level of higher high and high low sequence, which was happening. And right after we reach at this supply zone, I need a rejection, which should be a very, very strong rejection. And whenever there will be a rejection, I will just wait for the market to make a lower high. Then I am going to be taking a trade, and I'm going to target at least 2 rewards. That was the strategy that I used to take my first trade on a $200,000 FTMO challenge. So market did come to this level right here, which was the supply zone, and look at the way how it came. It made a movement, then sellers came down, then buyers tried again, sellers came down, then buyers tried many times, but they could not break it until they went up, tested that supply zone, and got a big rejection. Right after this rejection, I got very interested, because the reason is we were making this high 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 low sequence on the 15-minute time frame, and when market made this rejection, yes, that was a higher high. However, this turned out to be a fake out, because buyers just went up and sellers, they came down aggressively, and we also broke this structure, which was a higher low. So now we have this lower low right here, and market came up to make a lower high and also tested this level from where the fake out happened. And the second I saw that, I ended up taking a position for the sell side. I put my stops just above this fake out, which also was at the supply zone, and I put my target at 2 rewards, which was right here. And when market it made this movement, I ended up making $4,500 from this trade. Now that was the very first trade that I did on my $200,000 FTMO challenge, and I only risked 1%. But on my second trade, I wasn't gonna risk 1%. The reason is the risk management system that I used to pass the evaluation. I'm gonna now talk about what is that risk management system, then we will have a look at the second trade that I did. So by now we know that on the FTMO challenge, on the phase 1, when you start the challenge, you have to make 10% profit without losing 5% in a day and 10% overall. And these days you get unlimited time. Back in the days in 2019, when I did the FTMO challenge for the very first time in my life, at that time we had to make the 10% profit target objective within 30 days. We had to make 10% in 30 days. Otherwise, you used to get the free retry. If you were just even a little lower than the initial balance, that means you failed the challenge. But these days, it's not very easy. So what I recommend that you do, on your very first trade, let's say that you take a 100K challenge, or you can even take a 200K challenge. It's up to you. Assuming that you are doing an FTMO 100K challenge. So what I recommend that on your very first trade, that you risk 1%, just like the way that I risked 1%. Now, when you risk 1%, at least make 2% from that trade. Or if you can get 3 rewards from that trade, that's even very, very good. So in my case, I actually made 2%. But let's say that you target only 3% and you do not take any trade that does not give you 3 rewards. So if that trade goes in your favor, you're gonna end up making 3%. Now you are up 3% on your account, assuming that your first trade hit take profit and you were expecting at least 3 rewards. I was expecting 2 rewards, so I basically made 2%. So on the second trade, what I want you to do to at least risk 2.5% from the profits that you made in your first trade. Now, if you made 3% in your first trade, then I recommend you risk 2.5%. But if you made 2% in your first trade, then you risk 2% on the second trade instead of 2.5%. So you're going to be using the profits that you made in your first trade as a risk on your second trade. And as we are at least expecting 3 rewards from the trade no matter what, I do not recommend that you take any trade that does not give you 3 rewards in your second trade that you're going to be doing on your FTMO challenge. So if the second trade is going to give you 3 rewards, that's going to be a 7.5% profit, and it's going to be a total of 10.5% profits that you're going to make. Now you need 2 consecutive wins to hit the 10% profit target objective in phase 1 of the evaluation. Now you might be thinking it's not possible, but I can tell you it is possible if you have a trading system that actually works. But in case if you are struggling to develop a trading strategy, I have uploaded dozens of videos about different trading strategies, and they actually work because I have back tested them over the years since I started trading 7 years ago. So I recommend that on your second trade, risk 2.5% from the profits that you made in your first trade. And if that trade hits your take profit, that means your phase 1 is completed. And this is how I completed my phase 1 of the 200K FTMO challenge. Now on phase 2, it's gonna be a different. I want you to just stick to 1% risk, as your profit target is no longer 10%, instead it is 5% for phase 2 of the evaluation. So I want you to just stick to 1% risk on every single trade that you're gonna take, and at least expect 2 or 3 rewards. If you see any opportunity, no matter how many confluences you are getting, if that trade does not give you minimum of 2 rewards, then simply just do not take the trade. But if that trade gives you 2 rewards, that means you're gonna take the trade. However, you have to make sure that you're following your trading plan, and also there are multiple confirmations before you enter into the trade. So if you risk 1% on your very first trade on phase 2 of the evaluation, I want you to target at least 2%. Then it's going to be a 2% profit from the first trade. Then on your second trade, instead of risking 2%, I want you to just stick to 1% on your second trade as well. So again, risk 1% and do the same until you hit this 5% profit target objective. Once you are risking 1% on every single trade that you're going to be taking on phase 2 of the evaluation, and you do not bend your rules and you do not overtrade, which is very important, and also you do not go above 1% risk on every trade, then it's going to be super easy to complete the 5% profit target objective. Now, I know that I'm going to complete phase 2 of the evaluation right after the holidays end. I know that because I have done this dozens of times. I have passed FTMO challenges couple of times. I did the Funded Trader Program challenge. I'm currently trading their $500,000 funded account. I did multiple My Forex Funds challenge, and also there was a firm back in the days which was Funding Talent. I also did multiple challenges with them, got the funded account, made tons of money. And this is how I was passing the evaluation every single time. Now, you know what you're going to be doing on phase 1 of the evaluation. You know what kind of a risk management you're going to be needing on phase 2 of the evaluation. The thing that most traders, they do not understand, once you reach funded account, you now have to change everything. You have to change the way you were trading during the challenge phase. What I recommend, after you get the funded account, forget about 1% risk. Never risk 1% of your account balance. As now you have no target to achieve, you have unlimited time. Your first profit split is going to be after like 14 days. So why are you in a rush to make as much money as you can? You spent your hard-earned money on buying the challenge. You passed the challenge. You're on the funded account now. So instead of you just trying to rush out that you have to make 5, 7, 8% profits and you need to get a payout, what I want you to do to just lower your risk. And please do this, lower your risk. On the funded account stage, maximum risk that you're going to be taking is going to be 0.5%. Now, do not just think in the perspective of a 100K account. What I want you to do, make a long-term plan. Think about what if you're going to be trading $1 million funded account. And it's not really difficult to trade $1 million funded account because I have done that couple of times. Yes, I blew my funded accounts as well. However, before I blew, I literally made 6-7 payouts from every single firm that I was funded with. And I'm one of the very few traders with the Funded Trader program who have the funded account for more than 550 days now. Imagine trading the funded account, not losing that funded account for over 550 days and making a shit ton of money from that account. Now on the funded account, your maximum risk is going to be at least 0.5%. No matter how good the trade you are looking for in the market, it is giving you all the confirmations in the world, but you're not going to risk more than 0.5% of your account. That's very, very important if you want to keep the funded account for as long as you can. Now, if you're someone who just wants to get one single payout and you think, okay, I just need to make 10% or 20% from the account and I don't care if I will lose the funded account, then yeah, you can do 1%, you can do 2% risk on the funded account. But we're talking about the long-term success. So why do you need to blow your funded account that you just got after completing phase 1, after completing phase 2? So that's why I recommend to you that once you reach funded account, just lower your overall risk and do not take any trade that does not give you at least 2 hours. Now imagine that you take 10-12 trades, you have 50% or 60% winning ratio. After 20-30 days, you are up 3 or 4%. Now you are up 3 or 4%. What I want you to do, just simply request a withdrawal and get paid. Let the money hit your bank account first because you're going to get your fee refunded back to you with your first profit split. So that's why I recommend you to not risk more than 0.5% on the funded account stage. So that's my risk management system that I follow every single time when I do the funding challenge. Now let's have a look at the second trade that I did, which was on gold, and it was one of the most beautiful trades that I did. On this trade, I risked 2% from the profits that I made in my first trade, and my target was 4 rewards. I knew it was gonna go more higher, but because I just had a 10% profit target that I had to achieve, I already made 2%. So I was risking that 2% that I made from the first trade. So on this trade, what I did, I just set my target at 4 rewards. And when it hit my take profit, I ended up making 8% from this trade. If you do not believe me, I can simply just show you. That was the profits that I made. If you can just see it, that is over $16,000 that I made. Total, it was $17,000. However, I just had to make $16,000 because I was trading a $200,000 FTMO challenge. I showed you a proof that I took this trade and I made over 8% on my account. Now, the reason why I took this trade is because on the 15-minute time frame, market was definitely making high and high low sequence. And when we broke this resistance right here, look at how it to retest that level. Sellers came down, buyers went up. Sellers came down, buyers went up. Sellers, they came down, buyers went up. We are having multiple rejections right at this area, which was the key resistance. Now, after these multiple rejections, what I did, I just decided to wait for the liquidity hunt. The reason why I was waiting for the liquidity hunt, because the way the rejections were happening and buyers, they did not really go up, I knew there is going to be something happen. There was a high chance that sellers, they're going to first come down, make a proper breakout, but then buyers will take control and that breakout will turn into a fake out and that will be a liquidity hunt. And that exactly happened, what I was expecting. Look at the way how sellers came down. They went lower than all of these rejections and then sellers, they immediately took control. And right after that, I ended up taking a buy. I put my stops below these rejections and I put my target at 4 rewards. The reason why I put my target at 4 rewards is because there was this fair value gap and I was expecting the market to come to this level, which was right here, and it did come to this level, which I can show you as well. And it did not even come to this level. Instead, it also went higher, but my take profit was set at 4 rewards. So I ended up hitting my 10% profit target on a $200,000 FTMO account. So this is how I passed my $200,000 FTMO challenge in just 2 consecutive trades. And I showed you both of the trades that I did with live proof from the second trade that just got hit take profit few hours ago. Now I showed you the trades that I did. I showed you the asymmetric compounding risk management system. Now, what I want you to do whenever you're going to take the challenge, and that's one of the most important tips that anyone can give you when you take the challenge, make sure that first you at least have a trading system that works. If you have no trading system, simply just do not waste your money. Why are you going to be wasting so much money that you made by working your butt off? Why do you need to waste that money? If you have no trading system, simply just do not take the trade. Or you can learn either from me or from anyone that you want to learn and develop a good trading system. The second most important tip that I can give you is once you take the challenge, do not rush out the process. Most of the traders, you see that they are failing the challenge, and they keep failing the challenge is because they never really traded six figures account. Now, when they look at this $100,000, $200,000, $400,000 account, what they think that they are gonna be making a hell lot of money once they will get their hands on that account. So what they do when they take the challenge, they just try to complete that in the shortest period of time possible, which result in them over trading, over risking, and always over leveraging, which then result in them losing the evaluation. So you need to avoid that mindset. Instead, as now you're getting unlimited time to make the profits, so why do you need to simply rush out and try to pass the evaluation in the shortest period of time possible? No, you spent your money. You know that you have a trading system that works, so do not bend your rules just to try to pass the evaluation as soon as you can. Take your time, use the asymmetric compounding risk management system that I just shared with you, and always make sure that you take the trade that has a higher probability of going in your favor. So this is how I passed my $200,000 FTMO challenge, and this is how you can pass your FTMO challenge in 2024. If you watched this video until the end, I want to congratulate you because this is one of the most important video that I have uploaded on my channel so far. So that's it from this video. If you got any value out of this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell as well. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.